With this, it wasn't so much like a familial bond or that kind of sister, but almost this sisterhood of being bonded in, you know, there's like a lot of dark motifs in this, but you see them all together. They're tied, they're bonded in this thing, and they are all sisters through that. And you show that in this piece where they're really there's a lot of unity with the group work, a lot of synchronization, everyone very much on the same page. You do a great job of that, and you do get the sense at the end of this that they are a part of something greater than themselves. They are now in this sisterhood, and that's really important, and the big takeaway of the piece. It's very clear, it was very artistic, it was very interesting, and it had me thinking of all the different ways, all the different meanings of what sister could be.
All the ladies being in red made me think of The Handmaid's Tale, and the dancing aspect sort of made me think of the film Suspiria and the ballet and the cult-like sisterhood that is in that film as well, which I thought was a cool callback. I love that there was a story in this. It was the type of storytelling ballet that I love from, Swan Lake or The Nutcracker. So I loved seeing that here, that the dance was almost telling a story. I loved the sisterhood aspect. I also loved that they were all in the same color, and yet they all had individual outfits. They didn't all look exactly the same. The music was really intense and really cool in this. It was a more epic feel than a lot of ballet that I've seen. So yeah, I thought the classroom and school setting was also a very interesting aspect that made me think it was more indoctrination or something like that. And there was little bits of horror tones to this. Our main dancer collapsed with all the other dancers around her. So there was definitely a more sinister layer to this.
Really great sense of style and a really creative approach to the set design, the costume design of the piece. Obviously, the dance performance was really interesting to watch, a really fascinating sort of dynamic in terms of the symmetry of the performance, and I thought of the sort of narrative interplay matched with the music. And I thought that the piece had a interesting like horror movie conceit matched with the piece's music. Really reflects a lot of common musical approaches to a horror film, and I thought that the piece and the performance, all dressed in red, the use of light and dark, I thought reflected that quite well, and I feel like the piece had a sort of culty, witchy, coven type of energy that made sense both in terms of the music and the direction of the overall piece visually, but within the performance of each performer within the dance troupe.
I just love the fabulous choreography of the group of sisters in red wardrobe. It reminded me of The Handmaid's Tale. They were also talented and well trained, lots of very flexible, well timed moves. The lighting shining behind them really cast a lovely light on the surfaces below. The soundtrack moved from soft to strong, from gentle to highly dramatic. I thought the location of the hall worked really well with the soft wood floors that allowed for lots of space to move around for such a large group.
The color red, the sound effect in the beginning, it just really felt sinister. And so when I saw everybody in red in the room, it felt kind of like a cult. Not sure if that's the meaning of this, but that's kind of how it felt to me. I thought the red and the music were very striking, and the performances, the way they were done, very controlled. To me, it felt like somebody being initiated into this group or cult or whatever it was.
You have this dark sympathy symphony and the stark red of the costumes and the unison choreography with the soloist in the front. It's a dynamic visual to start the piece. It almost makes you feel like, oh, is this a congregation or is this a cult? And you have this other girl trying very hard to avoid it. Her solo pieces are filled with emotion, filled with passion, and it almost feels as if she's craving for freedom from conforming, but she does end up sort of going along with the group at some point.